Hello Ratbags, it's Jade Plays Games. Welcome to a Fallout 76 video. Today I'm going to be talking about Fallout 76, a big huge update today, the first real content patch for the game, fixing a whole host of problems and issues. It's a massive patch. It's literally the same size as the game that you installed, around 47 GB on the PS4 and around the same size on Xbox One. So if you've not had that update, look forward to it right now. The servers have been down since 2 PM UK time and they should be back up by now. We're also going to be talking about the fact that Fallout 76 has underperformed against how Fallout 4 launched, where it is in the current charts. No doubt about it, Fallout 76 has pretty much failed spectacularly if you go by just what everyone is saying on YouTube and very vocal reviewers. Bombed on Metacritic like I showed you guys the other day, lots of people are unhappy with the game. But is that the full story? Are we jumping on the hate bait bandwagon that seems to roll in every year around this time? And is it deserved? Does Fallout 76 deserve the amount of hate it's getting? I'm going to be discussing that and showing you guys a few things and giving you my little bit of opinion. So actually I decided to split that into another video. I went on way too long talking about hate bait and I just decided to give you the information about the Fallout update you've got today. So if you are interested in my opinion more on the Fallout and the big drama surrounding the launch and what other YouTubers, reviewers and everyone's thinking about the game, then make sure you go and check out that hate bait video. It will be up more or less at the same time or a little time after this one. So first let's go over the patch notes though. So the patch notes are pretty intensive in terms of what they have. Although they're not laid out probably the best version they could probably be laid out in. Several issues have been addressed to resolve hitches during gameplay. The Fallout 76 client servers have received additional stability improvements and Xbox has fixed an issue that could lead to instability on certain menus. Art and graphics ambient inclusion, placed items no longer leave behind shadow outlines after being picked up. The game camera now pans more smoothly when the player enters furniture. Graphics, the cover of Tester Science magazine issue 9 no longer appears solid red on pickup or when inspected. Enemies have fixed an issue in which some enemies could chase the player further than intended. Loot, ghoul and scorched offers now correctly drop nuke code pieces upon being killed by a player. This was something I encountered. Lots of people were telling me that you could get nuclear codes from these guys with the big huge radio backpacks on them and I found that I wasn't getting any. So hopefully that's been fixed now. Camp workshops and crafting. Blueprints have fixed an issue that could cause them to break into smaller parts after logging out and back into Fallout 76. Plans, paint applied to power armor during the Fallout 76 beta will now appear correctly on the items that were painted and those paints can now correctly be applied to additional sets of power armor. Repair fixed an issue that could cause an item to return to a broken state after being repaired. Quests, the Bureau of Tourism, the Pickford's Fault token dispenser can now be repaired and players can no longer walk through it. That was a big one. I've seen a lot of YouTubers highlight as if to say that was the one and big massive quest breaker in the game. PvP pacifist mode. Players with pacifist mode enabled to engage in PvP by contesting a workshop owned by another player will now correctly deal full damage to that player as long as they remain hostile. Respawn. Choosing the respawn option after dying during PvP combat will now correctly clear any active hostile status towards other players. Seek revenge. Cap rewards will now display correctly when choosing the seek revenge respawn option after being killed by another player. And when targeted by another player who's seeking revenge, the reward amount will now display the correct number of caps that can be earned by killing that player. A few UI key fixes, Korean fonts have now been displayed correctly. The take photo hotkey can now no longer be rebound. It's tied to the spacebar on PC and the A button on controllers. Social fixed an issue that could cause players to disappear from each other's menus if two players each sent a friend invite to one another. And it's fixed an issue that prevented newly equipped player icons from displaying to other players in the social menu. All in all, that really doesn't seem like 50 GB's worth of update. That seems like there's a hell of a lot more improvements in that. Obviously a big bulk of that GB size is going to be performance and stability. Should that really be receiving such a big update so soon after launch? Now according to Bethesda it's not going to be the norm. This is a one-off. Updates in the future are going to be much smaller. Now if you're wondering where's the increase in stash size, as I told you guys they are working on that, but that's not going to be in this update. It might not be for a few weeks yet. This is an excerpt from Pete Hines' Twitter account, and I've showed this off before in the forum post. We hear you loud and clear. We'll be increasing the stash limit in the coming weeks. The current limit is there for technical reasons to cap the number of items the game is tracking in the world, including every container and stash. We believe we have some ideas in both the short and long term that will address the size without risking stability, but this is one we need to take our time on to make sure it's done right. So all in all, not a great week for Fallout 76. That said, it is number 3 in the game charts at the moment. Spyro is number 1, is actually replaced Red Dead Redemption as the number 1 most bought game across all systems. Then it's Red Dead Redemption, then Fallout 76. Pokemon managed to get number 4 and FIFA is number 5. So judging by sales data in the UK at least anyway, and this is only physical copy editions, the online entry has sold 82% less than Fallout 4 at launch. Only retail sales are tracked, but it's unlikely that things are much different counting digital sales. Now I kind of disagree with that, and I'm going to talk about it. Being it's an online game, and most people like to play these online games the minute they come out, and obviously it was in its beta period as well, where you couldn't buy the physical copy edition, I reckon the online sales are probably going to be much better for the game than you'd find normally, maybe on par with other games. People really wanting to try the beta out, and so they definitely would have bought the digital edition a little bit quicker, a little bit easier maybe than they would have spent money on the physical copy edition, because it gave them almost instant access to the beta rather than having to go and download the code or get a code from another website or another company, as you had to do if you bought the physical copy edition to get access to the beta. This report also lists the fact that Fallout 76, although it was number 3, generated the most money because of the $60, or in the UK obviously £50 retail price of it. In fact, I say £50, it is more like £59 in the UK. It's pretty much the same price as you'd pay in dollars in America. It's maybe worth pointing out as well that Fallout 76 is already facing its first sale, dropping down $20 at GameStop as part of Black Friday. Now, it's not unusual for Black Friday to have massive sales in games, but only 2 weeks after launch, that is incredible that it's dropping that much. So if you're on the fence about Fallout 76, I don't know if this video is going to help you, but if you've been maybe leaning towards trying it, you can try it for at least a reduction in the price next week. Already the endgame content has been unlocked. Earlier on this week, pretty much on launch day, people launched the nuclear missiles, and now they've gone one better. Yesterday, people managed to launch 3 nuclear missiles at once, and it promptly crashed the server, as you would kind of maybe expect. This happened on PC, so the arms race is over. Everyone has unlocked the nuclear missiles, and there definitely needs more work to be done to make sure it's stable if that happens again. So lots happening with Fallout. Go and download the update if you haven't already done it, or you're planning to play it later on, and be just aware of some of the stuff that's going on with Fallout 76. I do plan to keep carrying on with the game, guys. That's the long and short of it. The hate bait video you're going to be looking at will be discussing why so many people hate Fallout 76, why it's some people are valid in hating it, and why some YouTubers and why some people maybe go a little bit too far with the hate bait, or maybe don't necessarily come from a genuine place. So it's a pretty lengthy video. I like talking about stuff like that a lot, so please go and show it some support if you want to hear more as well about my opinion about Fallout since the full game has launched. I am still enjoying it. I can't help but say that I just like mooching about in the game. I don't have to think too much. It doesn't require me to do too much other than just follow the markers. And sometimes after a busy day of working, making video content, guides, tutorials, I just like kicking back and just relaxing with it, and I can't help that. And I don't want to stop doing content on the game just because there seems to be a huge negative wave towards it, when I think that negative wave, while definitely just, and there are some massive problems with the game, I think there is something underneath it all. I think there could be something that maybe in the future gets better. I don't want to be in a situation like No Man's Sky though, waiting 2 years for it to get better, because that would probably kill my channel, but I certainly want to give it a little bit longer. I want to see how much content I can get done, whether I'm enjoying the content that I finish off making, and whether or not I'm enjoying the gameplay. And I want to play it with more friends, more of my rat bags, and that is really just the idea of doing a hate bait video, to talk about it all and discuss the lead up to Fallout 76, everything that's gone on with the launch, and why it's a bad game, and why people maybe can't see the good past the bad, and whether or not you shouldn't even bother. So there you go, lots of stuff to talk about. Go and watch the other video. I will keep you up to date with other stuff going on with Fallout 76, any big updates, and of course information on stash sizes. I'm Jade Plays Games. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you lot later.